I'm going to say welcome to the Saturday service. I'm Rabbi Brian, and this is the Saturday service. And this is September the 12th, 2020. And I want to welcome everyone who's here and everyone who's listening afterwards online. I'm going to just do a quick little over to the Zoom. Can everyone who's on Zoom make a little hand and a little wave and say hi to everyone who's watching through Facebook or YouTube or listening afterwards?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Leanne, I like that you have a magnifying glass out there. Is that's helpful? Good. All right. It does give an odd look to you. But it's kind of comical and awesome. Hey, Candace, Ruth, Eileen, Alma, Joan, everyone who's just joining in. Wow. Well, we've had quite some. I think we've all had quite some weeks since last week. Let's all take a breath of air, as smoky or as stuffy as the air is. We do not think that my county is going to have to evacuate. We have 30,000 people displaced, 500,000, which is almost half the state's population, is on alert. We don't think our county is going to get it, but we can't. There's no air here. I was supposed to do a wedding out on the other side of Mount Hood today, and the air quality there is just too. It's beyond bad. It's actually at dangerous or toxic. It's amazing, the air here. But I will tell you something that hit me yesterday, and I wonder if you all remember having the same feeling at the very beginning of COVID and the beginning of being in lockdowns of, boy, did I feel extra thankful last night for everything that I have. Did everyone have that sense at the beginning of COVID? And there's something about the being in trouble that makes you feel a little bit more grateful. I don't think that I would choose it, but it does make me feel a little bit more grateful for everything I have. I'll tell you, dinner tasted a little bit. We had sandwiches last night because I just didn't have it in me to do anything else. So we did a Shabbat over paninis, but whatever. But I felt really grateful. And just, can I get a show of hands? How many people are feeling a little extra grateful for what we got? Most everyone's hands are going up. Yeah. How many of us would have chosen it this way? All right, that's a 0. Well played. Well, I'm going to start this week as we have the last few weeks. And Eric, good to see you there. I'm glad to see Patty, who's just joined, and Louise. Thank you guys for being here. I want to start this week. We have been reviewing the Eric Fromm's 5 ideas, 5 notions of what constitutes a spiritual life. What a religious life is filled with 5 different characteristics, 5 different qualities that make up a spiritual life. We've been discussing them, and I'm wondering if you playing at home right now who've been listening to this service, if you haven't been here for a while, you're off the hook. And if you have been here every week and you don't know what all 5 of them are, that's fine. This is pass-fail. You're here and you're passing. That's all you need. But just to get them into your heads, I'm going to give you a level 5 quiz right now and remember, there's extra pressure right now because it's a quiz, so your learning might go down a stage. Do you remember the 5 different qualities of a spiritual life? Can you remember them? Oh, I see some people writing down. That's fantastic. Look at you guys.
Questioning.
Oh, I got somebody already answering. Emily, you got all 5 of them. Let's give everyone else a moment to see if they have them. But Emily, go ahead. We'll have you be our celebrity spokesperson today. Questioning. The idea of not being certain is a part of a spiritual life. There's a quote from Voltaire that says, doubt is uncomfortable, Uncertainty is ridiculous. So that's one. Go ahead, Emily. You got 4 more? Transformation. Yeah. A spiritual life is knowing that things aren't staying the same. That idea of you can never put your foot in the same river twice. Things are always changing. Not only are the things outside of us changing, but we are changing. And the you of 5 years ago isn't the you who is today. And then the one that makes it worse is knowing that the you of 5 years from now is not going to be the same as the you who you are today, which is... okay, I'm going to go on a little tangent on that one. Show of hands, how many people like transform? How many people enjoy transforming their lives? And how many people enjoy having been transformed? More hands on the second one, right? Hemingway once said, "I don't like writing, I like having written." The process of transforming is not pretty. It's not. It's hard. It's rough to give up this notion of who you think you are and becoming someone new. But having done it, it always feels good. So maybe we can embrace it a little more. Emily, we got 2 out of 5. You got any more? You're getting an A+ right now.
I'm going to pass.
You're going to pass. And who are you going to call on? Joy.
Possibly not a good one to call on this week, but I'll tell you why later.
Okay. Joy, you just pass along.
Pass along.
Pass along. Who would you like to pass to? This is making it fun.
Alma.
Now listen, apparently there are things called introverts, and if you get called on and you're an introvert, just move it along. I am such an extrovert, I can't even keep it in my mind sometimes that some people don't enjoy being in front of an audience. Alma, what do you have for, we got 2 of our spiritual ideas down. You have a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th? Can you say it again? That a spiritual life is knowing that it's not all about us. That it's about a whole sense of community. And at the other side of that, that we know that we are also very important. And we have built into this the idea of paradoxicality. That it's paradox. So it's not about us and it is about us. And it can't just be about me. It has to be about community. Fantastic, Alma. Do you want to keep going or you want to pass to someone else? Pass. Who would you like to go? Who is that? We have more than one Carol on the line?
Sorry,
Carol Ox.
It's hierarchical.
Yeah. Can you explain a little?
Values have a different rate, and we have to keep climbing up to the highest values and not stay at the bottom.
A spiritual life is about moving on up and knowing that love, forgiveness, gentleness, generosity are qualities that we like more, that are a higher value than the other ones. And number 5, do you want to do that one also, Carol? You want to pass to someone else? Raise your hand if you want it. Oh, that's a lot of people. Look at all those people not raising their hands. It's a quiet morning. All right, Bob, you win, Bob.
Infinite.
That there's some sense in a spiritual life of the infinite. I'm going to give you guys a quick, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm going to do it now. I want you to play a little game with me. Oh, I have a compass right here. Perfect. Here's a circle. And let's make it a clock. 12, 3, 6, 9, and all the numbers in between. I want you to imagine that I cut the outside of the clock off. And I cut this band. So I had just... No, well, let me change it. I'm going to say that slightly differently. Let's say I had a line going from 9 to 3. And I could pick that line up and place it here at 12 and start to move it around the circle. How many of those bands do you think it would take to make it all the way around the circle? So again, I'm going to take the band from the middle, place the beginning of it at 12, and then wrap it slowly around the circles outside until I got all the way back to 12. How many of these do you think it would take? Just take a little thinking in your head. It's about that long. So how far would it take to go from one end? How many of these would it take? Ricky, I'm going to call on you if you don't mind too much. You can tell me, yeah, you're good? What do you think? No, you think no, this is scaring you.
That's not my thing. Math was never my thing.
All right. I'm going to... Hold on. All right. There's a rubber band. It's about the length. How many of these rubber bands would it take to go around the circle? So that's about one. Can you guess how? Can you see that?
3.
4?
About 3, 4,
2.5.
2.5?
14159.
Yeah, so somebody got the exact number right there. It was 3.14, 159, etc. Anyone remember what that number is? That's actually what pi is. And the reason I bring it up, first let's understand what that is. It takes exactly pi diameters to go around the circumference of a circle. Now, a lot of you learned geometry at one point in your life, but it's like, oh my God, that's what pi is. Here's the thing that I want you to know about pi, and the reason I bring it up, because it has all to do with the infinite. This number never ends. This continues on without repeating for infinity. You can go on the web and you can type, can I find my phone number in pi? And you will find your entire phone number is in pi. It doesn't matter what number you type in, it exists in this number. And I just bring that up because that gives me a sense of what this is. The infinite. It's just so it's beyond comprehension that every number is existent within this. That's how infinite is. Okay, good. I'm going to move us along. Thank you for playing. Any questions about pi? How many of you learned for the first time what pi is now? I got a few hands. Okay, good. Thank you. Yay, I used to teach math. Bring us to this idea. We talked a moment ago about the hierarchy of values. Let's say we wanted to be more gentle and have more generosity. Can anyone think of reasons we shouldn't? Can anyone think of reasons we shouldn't be more gentle and filled with more generosity? Yeah, Ricky, what do you got?
Well, the fear that people will step all over us.
Uh-huh, right? Gentle and generosity are good, but it would be even better if we did that while maintaining boundaries. So if I could give you boundaries, would you be all right being more gentle and more generous?
Yes.
Hey, Ray, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Brian.
Ray,
Yes.
how if somebody said to you, Ray, you're a kind, gentle man, give me some tips, what would you tell him?
Remember that we are all human beings, that we are all children of God. However you look at God, however that is, we all are. And if you want other people to be kind and gentle to you and respectful of you, then you must be to them maybe even first. That's how I would say kind and gentle is.
Folks, can I get an amen for Ray?
Amen, Ray.
All right, so I didn't tell you to do it. Ray told you to do it. Folks, even if they're being bastards. You heard it. Ray said it is for you to be gentle and generous to them anyhow. Can we all try that at least once today? And tomorrow? You can take off Monday. But yeah, the boundaries are very important. You can be gentle and generous, but to have boundaries and to be gentle about your boundaries and say, I'm so sorry. I just can't. I had to tell a wedding couple who wanted me to go out to the other side of Mount Hood to marry them later today. I said, I'm really sorry. And it's horrible that I can't, but I cannot risk my health to go out to do your wedding today. I had to hold a boundary.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, it really is horrible. And they're out there, they're at the venue today. But I can't go. It's just terrible. All right, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Maybe we'll talk more about boundaries in a future date. I'm going to move us along. We're going to play a game. Virtue exercise. Today's game is called the Green Glass Door. And do you remember last week we played some games? We tried to play the game with the hat, and that went really, really terribly. You guys remember that? We're going to try another game. And here are the rules. The point of the game is that I want you to see how frustrated you get while playing this game. I want you to see how frustrated you get while playing this game. We're in perfect laboratory settings. I'm going to start a game. It's going to have a hidden rule to it, which you might not understand. If you understand the rule, please don't blurt it out, because then it kind of ruins the game for everybody else. So the game is called the Green Glass Door. And I'll start by saying, I'm going through the green glass door. I'm going to take puppies, but not a dog. And then I can go through the green glass door because I'm taking puppies, but I'm not bringing a dog. And maybe somebody else decides they want to go through the green glass door and they say, I'm going to go through the green glass door. Rags, you played this with us the last time. Can you think of something that you would be able to take through the green glass door? Well, put you right on the spot, Rags.
Yeah, you really did.
All right, Rags would be able to go through the green glass door, but Louise would not. I don't know if you would be able to figure out a rule from that, but is there somebody who knows the rule who would be willing to play another one? Yes, Carol, go ahead.
I'm taking kittens, but not cats.
Yeah, you're taking kittens through the green glass door, but not cats. That's fantastic. Somebody else, I saw another hand there for a moment. Yeah, Scott, what do you have? Scott can go through the green glass door, but Alex cannot. That's fantastic. Really well played. Again, now I see some of your faces. Now and I see consternation. I see you thinking hard. This is as though you had something in your life you can't yet figure out. We're seeing what happens inside your own mind. What else could go through the green glass door and can't? Candace, what do you have?
Seeds, but not plants.
Would you say it a little louder?
Seeds, but not plants.
Oh, you could bring seeds through the green glass door, but not plants. That's fantastic. Wonderful, Candace. Not plants. You can bring Scott and seeds through the green glass door. Now, this is terrible, isn't it?
Trucks, but not cars.
Did you say trucks?
Yep.
Oh, I apologize. You cannot bring trucks through. But if you lived in Britain, you could bring lorries through the green glass door, but you would not be able to bring trucks.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps as much as mud.
Just about.
Somebody else willing to take a chance? Alma, what do you say?
I can see the moon through the green glass door, but I can't see the stars.
You can't see the stars through the green glass door. That's great. Wow, well played. Well played. Yeah, Ray?
You can bring guppies through, but not fish.
You could bring guppies? You know what else you could bring? You could bring rabbis. But you couldn't bring fish, and you couldn't bring priests. It was a really good laugh there. I don't know from whom, but I really liked the laugh. Yeah, Stephen, what do you have?
I can bring cookies, but I can't bring pie.
You could bring cookies, but not pie. Okay, now we're going to take a pause. Show of hands. How many of you have no clue what's going on and are willing to admit it? All right, those of you who have your hands up, how is it feeling to not know what's going on at all?
Think.
Anybody going, this is really a stupid exercise and there's no point to this whatsoever? That's running through your head because I don't like it.
Feels scary.
It feels scary. Oh, and I got up on the internet. Dale said I can bring eggs, but not yolks. Thanks, Dale. Thanks for playing on the interwebs. And hi, Shirley. Glad to see that you're there. And Allison, other people who are on Facebook. I thought...
Mommy can go through, but not my dad.
Oh, Mommy can go through, but not Dad. All right, do we need a hint? Okay, if you don't want to know how this goes, turn all the volume down on your... And then you'll... Here we go. Here's your hint. Don't say it out loud. It's the green glass door. And there's something that's similar between green glass and door. Yellow could go through the green glass door, but blue could not.
Got it.
You got it. Something clicked there. What do you have, Anne? Anne could go through the green glass door,
Yeah.
but the rest of the McKays could not.
Okay.
What do you... Do we got it?
I think so.
Go ahead, Anne. Give us another example. See how well you got it.
Sorry?
Can you give an example?
Oh, sure. Oh, man.
All right, how about good could go through the green glass door
And bad cannot.
and bad could not? Now, I'll give you guys a hint. The fact that good and bad usually are lumped together and lorries and trucks are lumped together have nothing to do with it. That's just to throw you off.
Oh,
I could say that Scott could go through the green glass door, but priests couldn't, rabbis can, and trucks can't. There's no correlation between the left and right side. That was just to mess you up. Sorry.
Are you sure priests can't?
Yes, they can.
Well, if you spelled priest this way,
Right.
with two E's, then they could.
I was thinking the two S's.
Oh, yeah, but they weren't next to each other.
Okay.
2 E's, 2 S's, and 2 O's.
Okay, I think we got a big hint there. Thank you, Joy. Did you guys hear the big hint? Everything on this side of the game is double lettered.
Okay.
Everything on this side of the game, not double lettered. Again, the...
Double letters can go through, but not single.
That's absolutely right, Ray. Absolutely right. So that's a green glass door. I'm sorry. Feels...
Really thought.
I'm not really sorry. No, Emily, I'm not. But it brings me to our quote of the day. Alex, if you could put that in the chat for everybody. There's a quote from Albert Sills. He said, "The events in the world do not disturb us as much as the view that we take of them. In other words, it is the way you think about or evaluate a bad event that determines your emotional and behavioral response to that event. It is not the events in the world. The events in the world do not disturb us as much as the view we take of them. In other words, it is the way you think about or evaluate a bad event that determines your emotional and behavioral response to that bad event." The game good or bad, doesn't matter. The weather, the smoke, the fires, COVID, it's not about that. This all has to do with our own something else. Oh, and I just see some other chats just came in from coffee could go through the green glass door, but decaf could not. That one's good too. I'm going to break us into small rooms, into breakout rooms, and I'm going to put 4 to 5 people in a room. And I'm going to ask you to look at this quote and to discuss it. The person whose name, on-screen name, starts highest in the alphabet, they moderate the group. And if they don't want to, they can pass it over to the next person. But I find it's easier if I give at least one person. Sometimes I do it with whoever's tallest, but we can't do that in Zoom. Sometimes I do it with whoever's shoes are the spiffiest, but we can't do that on Zoom. So we're going to do it just by alphabet. So if you're alphabetically at the high end of your room, you're going to lead our group, your little group through this, and we're going to take 5 minutes to talk about it. That the events in the world do not disturb us as much as the view we take of them. You guys ready? We went to breakout rooms. Now we come back. So we live in both. This brings me to, hey, it's as though I planned it. It brings me to our next thought. I have to, thanks. I feel like, I need, he is. These are all phrases that I want you to reconsider. So linguists tell us, and I learned this when I was getting my master's in education, that we think in words. We think in words. And the clearer we can be in our language, the thinking goes, according to these theorists, that the clearer we can be in our thoughts. That if you're using sloppy words and you don't, that it's harder. And that's, if you can get your thoughts to write them in Latin, you are very exacting on your language. That we think in language, and the clearer we can be in language, the clearer we can be in our thoughts. And these are all phrases I want us to reconsider. That what happens if instead of saying, I have to do something, you say, I get to. I used to give this assignment to my students right before Thanksgiving. And I would always say to them, you don't have to do this assignment. You get to.
Is it possible also to say I can?
I can. What's the feeling difference if you change the word have to I can or I get to? How's it feel? Yeah, go ahead, Eileen.
The choice.
It's
not an imposition. I decide.
right. Instead of saying thanks, my grandmother taught me this one. Instead of saying thanks, what happens if you change it to I thank you?
It makes it much more personal.
Yeah. Rags, you were saying something and got cut off.
It makes it much more personal.
Thank you, Ray.
You say I, you're recognizing yourself, thank you. So you're putting out something to another person.
Yeah.
Gratitude, perhaps.
More of a connection.
Right? You feel...
I do that now because probably a couple of months ago you had that, Rabbi.
Well,
Now when I write thanks something, I always change it to I thank you.
Right?
Because I really like it.
You think about how it's transactional between two people. This one's interesting, and I feel like people might not get this. Uh-oh, look what I just did there. I used an example of it. I feel like people might not get that. That's not a feeling. Anytime you follow the word feel with the word like, I feel that. Be aware that you're diluting your feeling pool. The feelings are things that we have emojis for.
You're stating a thought, not a feeling.
You're stating a thought, not a feeling. And what would happen if we reserved, I feel worried you might not understand, is a very different thing than I feel like you might not understand.
Yeah.
And we're connecting ourselves with our emotional life. I am married to a therapist. There, I didn't hear that. Go ahead.
I just said we're all grateful you're married to a therapist.
No one more grateful than I. Here's one. This one I don't do well, and I need to do better.
You want to, I believe.
Thank you, Rob. It's substituting the word want for need. There are very few needs we have.
In this country, yeah.
I need you to do something. You're demanding someone do. I need you to do the dishes. What? I'd like you to do the dishes. I want you to do the dishes. I would feel happy if you did the dishes, but I don't need you to do the dishes. And the last one, this comes from nonviolent communication, is being very careful when we put something like, he is stupid, he is late, he is, when we put the verb to be conjugated here, we're making, he did something that is stupid, he did something that is foolish, but he is stupid? He is foolish? Oh, we better be aware of that one too.
No, it's just I'm stupid.
Rob, you're not stupid. You just say stupid things. I used to say that to you are not stupid, Rob. You are definitely far from stupid. Oh, okay. I would... Yom Kippur is coming up, and I will make a tone, and I apologize, Rob. That one came out much harsher than I feel it ought to have. I feel it ought to have. I feel worried that it was obnoxious. I feel worried that I have put you out.
Nah, you didn't.
No, I do actually, Nikki.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, we will settle this.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Rob, for your grace. Here are 5 different homework assignments.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Carol.
Is this similar to the thing that I was taught when I was teaching school? But I don't say good boy. I say you did a good job.
Yeah.
So the kid doesn't learn that what they do decides who they are. Or how
Right.
They are.
Right, that we could.
It's about their doing and their being.
So there's a whole book called Nonviolent Communication, which I did not bring. Oh, here it is. Which by Marshall Rosenberg. It is fantastic if you want to do a really deep dive into language and how language affects everything. I'm going to give you this homework assignment, though. Pick one of these 5 to work on this week. Because if you try to bite off all 5 at once, I doubt you're going to get much progress. So pick which one you want to do this week. Make a note, please, to yourself. I'm going to work on getting rid of the word have. I'm going to move to I thank you. I'm going to really look at my feeling words. I'm going to try to stop using the word need, or I'm going to stop declaring who people are.
Ricky's added an interesting one to the chat. He says instead of saying I love you, he says you I love.
Ooh, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, because when you're saying I love you, what you're saying is I love you because you're doing this, or because you're doing that, or because, you know.
Ah,
You say you I love, what you're saying is you don't need to do anything. I love you the way you are.
I like that. I love you the way you are.
Yeah, it's what Mr. Rogers always used to say. It's you I like.
Oh, it's you that I like. Yeah. That's fantastic. And I got a comment coming up here from my friend Scott who said, I choose to. And you guys get to choose Choose which one of these 5 you want to work on this week. Who doesn't love a religious service that has homework?
I get to do homework.
You get to do homework. It's time for announcements, friends. Okay, here are the announcements. First of all, here it is. Hi, it's Rabbi Brian. I hope to see you at the Basic Judaism course. If you have any questions, please ask me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Did the video play through at all?
We didn't see the end.
Okay, hold on. No, it's not that one. Well, okay, we're going to make an announcement for this one at the same time. On September 25th, I'm going to be doing a service for the Jewish high holidays. There's Rosh Hashanah, and then there's Yom Kippur, and there's always a Friday night in between. It's on that Friday night, which is going to be coming up on the 25th, that I will be running a service. It won't be exactly like this. It's going to be a little bit more of a... It will be a little more formal, a little less interactive. There will be some interactivity because I like it. And I'm going to try to find you the...
What time?
It's a great question. It's 5:45 Pacific Standard Time.
No, you sent an announcement out, I think.
Oh, and you'll get another announcement. And
Wait for Alma.
Yes, way late for Alma.
I'll try and set my alarm to be up.
And
Okay, good.
here's the Basic Judaism. And then you'll get an email about this one if you didn't already. I'm going to be running a Basic Judaism course for 9 sessions every other week. It's textbook-based, Zoom-tastic, Learn-a-Palooza, and you'll be getting more information about that. I'm sorry the little video didn't play. I had so much fun making it.
It only played in your little box. It didn't play full screen.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I'll look at the video later to see what I did incorrectly there. Other announcements. Hold on, I made a note of all my announcements. Here they are. Here's an announcement. If you don't already, would you please consider supporting this work so I can continue to I'm going to use the word bless the lives of thousands of people with spiritual religious goodness. There will be a link up in the chat box for if you haven't made donations and you would like to. Alex, I thank you for putting that one up in the chat box. Other announcement. Oh, I have a question. This is going to be like a survey question. Y'all know in the 77% weekly, I take the last week of the month off. I haven't been doing that with this service. Let's talk about it. I've been doing this service every week.
Take a vacation.
Not taking the week off.
Definitely.
I'm of two minds because I really love doing this and it energizes me and it's fun. But the other side of me says I really should practice what I preach.
Yeah.
Okay. So then maybe...
You get to practice what you preach.
thank you, Carol. I get to.
And you get to take the week off.
All right. Well,
So you'll be brighter when you come back.
And it gives us a week off too.
you know you guys don't have to show up, right? I mean, I guess for that matter, I don't have to show up either. I get to show up.
I feel like I have to show up.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. I think
You should just take one day off a month.
that's it. I'm going to do the Monday and the... well, thank you, Group Conscience, for voting on that. I'm going to bring in one more thinking today. Oh, before I do that, hold on. I want to get to this slide here. There. Hey, what's on your heart? We've been laughing, we've been joking, but is there a thing that you really want to share with the community? And I'm becoming more and more a fan of anonymous community and the power of an anonymous community. I don't quite get why that works so well, but there's something beautiful about sharing a concern with a group of people who you don't know, who will love on you anyhow. So if there's something that's deep on your heart that you want to share, or light on your heart that you want to share, I ask you to do so. Go ahead, Eileen.
I just wanted to let you know I wrote to James, and he wrote me back a really long letter, and he really needs letters because he told me he's rereading letters that he had.
Yeah.
He just loves contact with people, so.
Yeah. So thank you, Eileen. For those of you who don't know, there's Religion Outside the Box runs a very small prison ministry, and it's so small that it's focused on one guy. But James is a prison bodhisattva. He has turned his life to trying to teach and trying to get people to leave violence behind. And from the letters he's written and where he is, that is quite a feat to do. I've been writing to him for over 10 years. And I know, Alex, you've been writing to him for a long while as well.
At least 3 years, I think I've been writing.
Yeah, he's a beautiful pen pal, and it gives me the excuse to write things out by hand. So, Alex, if you could put his address, do you have it by?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So anybody who wants to write to him, also he sells greeting cards in the prison. They cannot have anything glued on them or glitter on them. But if you have some greeting cards, you can send him up to 10 at a time, and you can send him a sheet of stamps at a time. He can make a lot of use out of that. Also, the canteen is out of food there, so here's something whoever thought of with COVID, right? Everybody's locked in their own cells for 23 hours a day. And what that means is that the underground economy within the prison of people selling and trading things with each other is all shut down. It's a really rough time for him. So thank you, Eileen, for bringing James back up for us. Other thoughts that are in our hearts that we want to share? Yes, Sherry?
I'm curious how you met him.
Nagi was a Buddhist mentor of mine, and Nagi, one of my favorite quotes of Nagi's, you might have heard me say, is Nagi said about religions, about different religions, he said, same shit, different shovel. And so when Nagi told me to write to James, I started writing to James, and God, I was teaching in LA at the time. It was a really long time ago. And we became friends, and then Jane and I visited him. Yeah, and oh my God, was that an eye-opening experience. So he's a beautiful guy. Yes, Scott.
Did you visit him at Susanville?
Yeah, in Susanville, high desert.
I've been there.
To Susanville or to the prison there?
To the prison.
It's right. It's like going into Jurassic Park, but it's for real.
It's like a Stephen King, The Tower in the Desert, and it's such a quiet place for all the people that's in there. It's kind of a scary feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it was a thing. Other things that are on our hearts we want to share?
Our friend Donnell, she was really sick last week, and we prayed for her, and she's doing better.
So that's wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad to hear.
She's recovering from colon cancer. So if anyone feels like they'd like to, just send a good thought for our friend Donnell.
Let's send some extra thoughts to Donnell. Other people whose names we want to include in the list of people we're thinking good thoughts for?
My boss has sent us an email, and the hospital is planning to bring us back to work there, and I'm really concerned.
I'll make a little prayer to the tens of thousands of people in my state who have been forced to evacuate, all the people who have lost their homes, the vacation. We went on a vacation 3 weeks ago. The cabin that we went to does not exist anymore. The town of Lyons, where it was, doesn't exist anymore. And the 500,000 people who are on alert for being evacuated, it is really scary. And I just want to put everyone's thoughts out there for however that can be of help. Anyone else?
not to diminish what you just said, but you keep telling us to hold on, and I want to let you know I don't have any monkey bars.
Okay, well, we'll pray that Rob gets some monkey bars very soon.
You can borrow mine.
Thank you, Rob. That's very, very generous of you. And, you know, I'll tell you where I find myself at this moment, folks. I have this lesson that I want us to do, but I can't get to it in 3 minutes and do it any justice whatsoever. So,
You should.
I should, I might, I'd like to, I want to. I plan on doing it, and how about this? I commit to doing it next time we all get together.
Okay.
You gotta put I will on there too.
I might. I know the lesson I'm going for. I'll get us there. So everyone has some homework that they get to do. Everyone remember what their homework assignment is? Okay. Well, we'll do that, and then I'll. You do not have to do it. You get to do it. And I'm going to sign us all off. Let's all take a moment, say goodbye to each other, and I wish you all a wonderful, healthy week.
Adios, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Here.
Bye.
Sorry I was late.
Joe.